thank you all for being here. Looking around this room really means a lot to see all these really familiar and close friends and faces, and so thank you for being here. Thank you to the wonderful local restaurants that provided food. Cicero's, that's all a second ago. Min's Sweet Streets and Antoinette's for the cookies, thank you. Thank you for Platinum for bartending, for T-Rush and DJ Matthew Smith for being here, thank you. Vondell and Nakia for organizing, thank you. And our local entrepreneur extraordinaire, wonderful human and mother, Onika, where are you? I think you hear some of it. Thank you for having us. So look, being here on Greenwood reminds me why I moved here. Most of you know my background in terms of building companies in California, New York, London, Tel Aviv, and leaving to work for Hillary Clinton in 2016 in Wisconsin, losing by 23,000 votes there. I remember in Wisconsin, we went to Oshkosh and Green Bay and La Crosse, and you could see the empty homes and beat-up factories. And it was that moment in time in 2016 I realized that there was something different happening in the middle of the country than was in California and New York, where I was from. And there was a part of the world that the best days were behind them, and people were not feeling like the best was yet to be. And within a year of that election, it was in September 2017, I visited two good friends of mine, Matt Zellick and Jody Finer, who I think are here somewhere, and there they are. And we now, I played a small role in the marriage, and then, now they have four children. And I remember coming to Tulsa, and I got connected with David Journey, David Finer, and the folks at Tulsa Tomorrow, and it was an interesting moment. It was, if you could imagine, 2/3 of the arts district didn't exist yet. This building wasn't here. 36 degrees north had just been built. The gathering place was like 90% complete. Consumer fairs in Gitwood were just kind of getting some traction. And I remember, it was like sunset at the gathering place, and I had the privilege of actually meeting, Jeff Staub and a couple others. I remember thinking to myself, something's happening here. There's a thing that's going to happen, and I feel like it's the beginning. And the next day I got to meet actually Ken Levin and George Kaiser and some of the other amazing folks at GKFF. And I found their commitment and the general attitude of the people here, and the commitment to Tulsa, inspiring. And I heard the GKFF story, and I thought to myself, the foundation of this size, folks on a geography of this size, maybe this is the place to come to with a replicable model for other cities in the heartland to create better economic opportunities for those that have overlooked the innovation economy that I was living within in New York at the time. And so I kind of asked, how can I help? That's usually what I say to people. And a few months after that, I got to start working with GKFF, and a few months after that, I was in Tulsa, and then being in 2018, and since then, it's been busy. I describe the last 6.5 years of my life here in the two main buckets, work-wise. One is working with GKFF on deploying capital in early stage startups and venture funds. And you might not know this, but we've actually invested in 35 funds, 66 companies, almost a third of which were based here in Tulsa. And we helped deploy a little over, not an insignificant amount of capital, and almost $50 million to Tulsa-based companies or tech startups and things like that here in town, and something that I think is the early days and more to come. In addition, we worked on developing different ways to take Tulsa forward, largely around talent attraction, talent retention, and innovation economy. And since 2018, we've worked with GKFF to launch 9 organizations around those themes. And I'll give you a few examples because it sounds broad. So many of you might not know, but in Tulsa Remote, I played a small role in that early on in late 2017, in partnership with, before Tulsa Remote started, in late 2017, in partnership with Tulsa Tomorrow and GKFF, we actually brought 58 friends of mine on a recruiting trip to Tulsa. In a survey afterwards, 85% of them, this is a kind of shocking number, 85% of them said they would move here if they had the right opportunity. And 7 actually did, including myself and my cousin. 4 of us that moved here were either remote workers or sole proprietors, which was at the foundation that got me thinking about this, and along with the deep research of Ben Wagner, who stands right here. Ben Wagner, the secret behind it all. This eventually led to Tulsa Remote, which I asked Justin the figures, and he told me it's moved nearly 5,000 people here including spouses and kids. It's over 1% of Tulsa's population. And so that, Aaron launched it and Justin's running it. And I rarely like to say things unilaterally. I generally hedge, in some way or form. But I would say definitively, Tulsa has become the single best place in the world at recruiting and, more importantly, retaining remote workers. And that is impressive. It's best in the world. This program, everyone's copied that. When I got here, I remember George Kaiser told me, we have this cyber core program at TU, and we need to figure out a way to utilize it. How can we do something with cybersecurity? And I started looking around, looked in Israel and San Francisco about different potential partners. And I eventually ran across a guy named Nick Lala, who was working with the New York City Economic Development Corporation, and started, brought him to town. And then next thing you know, Tulsa Innovation Labs was born, which Jen Hankins now leads and does an amazing job. We've raised over $70 million, launched 12 initiatives. They're like right on the brink of getting a huge grant right now. It's honestly, Tulsa Innovation Labs is like bringing Tulsa's economy into the future, I really believe, and that's another organization that's been amazing to play a small role in early on. Libby was here, but she had to go. But at this school, you may not be aware, but Tulsa, Oklahoma is actually the largest city in the country to have a four-year public university, and it punches a little below its weight in tech workers per capita, as well as college grads per capita, and it's like a tough issue to address because opening up a college isn't easy. And so what we did was we recruited at the school, formerly Holberton, and it's to Tulsa, and it's become an independent Tulsa organization, which now has seen over 150 graduates and 200 others in the program currently. And the graduates, my favorite part about that program is the graduates average over $70K upon graduating and enter the program making less than half of that. And so, if you don't know Libby, she left, she's not that baby, which is amazing, but she's a force to be reckoned with and has continued to evolve the school so that the curriculum matches the ever-changing tech landscape. In Tulsa, I saw Meg here a few minutes ago, we believe that startups can be successful here. They just need the talent so they could grow. We had a portfolio, they were willing to hire, but we couldn't find the talent. And so that mind, we launched in Tulsa, which Meg launched, along with Aaron and then Louie, and they both helped startups and local corporations recruit over 300 people. We've since also launched the In Tulsa Visa Network that Stan runs so amazingly. That we moved 45 entrepreneurs and highly skilled workers here. Almost 100 people through that program. Tomas is here, Biotechnics, and others that come through that program. It's like each of these programs are really doing so much for Tulsa, and it's just inspiring to see. Build in Tulsa, Sydney and Ashley and a few others. We recognize, and so interesting, it's coming from California, New York, I just did not know it, but Tulsa was the capital of black wealth, not once but twice, and has the right to be again. And so Build in Tulsa was launched. Ashley Sims and her team has taken it beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Over 400 entrepreneurs have gone through their program. Over $10 million of capital have been raised by their alums. It's been amazing to get to work alongside Ashley. The one thing I do not recommend is you never want to publicly speak after Ashley Sims. She is literally a pro, but she's also one of the most inspiring humans I've ever had the privilege of working with, really, truly. Marcella couldn't be here, but Tulsa responds. Oh, she's here. Oh my God, you're here! Oh, Marcella's here. So in 2020, we had a global pandemic, and businesses needed help with their PPP loans. And so we launched Tulsa Response, which Marcella has taken to levels beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Truly, there's a 40-person team. They support a variety of organizations. They help people with Medicaid enrollment, SBA loans, earned income tax credit, returns, and more. We went through our launch in East Tulsa a couple weeks ago, and it was a room full of people whose lives were positively impacted. And so it's just so inspiring. And then look, we don't talk about this often enough, but probably my favorite moment as a Tulsan was the Tulsa for Tesla campaign. It was probably the most fun I ever had in my day job, and it came in the first 3 months of a global pandemic. Elon Musk tweeted that he's building a factory in the middle of the country. 24 hours later, we were talking to Tesla. 3 months later, Tulsa was on a 2-city shortlist versus Austin. And we got Elon Musk himself to visit Tulsa, which I think epitomizes our secret sauce of the city, the state, the private sector, PKFF, Tesla drivers. Everyone came together for this effort. We painted a statue. We built a big freaking field website. We tweeted back and forth with Musk. We didn't win that effort, but we proved Tulsa could compete on the national stage. And it can. Which brings us to Atento Capital. We built Atento because we believed that there was potential to be unlocked in Tulsa via venture capital, and so we launched. And at the time of the launch, there were not even 5 venture-backed startups active in Tulsa, as far as I can see. And to my best count, there are now over 30, half of which Atento is not even an investor in this. Which means the local VC market is now officially self-sustaining. Additionally, as far as I can tell, until 5 years ago, there was no black person ever to receive venture capital in Tulsa, Oklahoma, let alone work in venture capital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And if you look around this room and look around 36th Street North and in general, we're in a black-owned bookstore here in the heart of Greenwood. There's companies like Bottle, Rightsy, Squatch It, Parvit, TechStarts, Act House, so many venture-backed companies and venture-focused programs that are building here in Tulsa. There's no going back to how things were. This is the new normal for Tulsa. So this isn't to say that we didn't have our failures and lessons learned. And being an entrepreneur comes with pushing yourself as hard as you can and not being afraid to fail. And so, with that, I can say on a personal level, my health, last year I had 3, thankfully, minor strokes and found out just how much my body could take up until failure. This was an incredibly humbling experience and taught me the limits of what I can do, at least physically. And in terms of venture, venture is about continual learning, and in general, you learn the most from the failures or shortcomings. This has been the educational experience of a lifetime for me, because I believe in shared learning. Because I believed in shared learning, I wanted to share a few of the bigger learnings that I had during my time. One, Northwest Arkansas. Amazing place. I was just on the river last weekend. But we expanded to Northwest Arkansas with the wonderful folks of the Walton Family Foundation. We gave it 2 years in earnest and learned the difficulties of being a multi-geographic, place-based entity. And after 2 years, we decided we were better suited to solely focus on Tulsa. Another one, the Atento Fund sidecar. We raised outside capital from friends in town as well as from our broader U.S. network. It took a lot of time and effort, and we ultimately made the decision to return the capital. I wanted to say sincerely thank you. Many of you in this room participated. Thank you to those who invested in Atento Fund 1 sidecar. I'll never forget it. And in venture in general, we are in a business where 70% of the companies we launch are supposed to fail, 20% are supposed to do okay, and 10% need to hit it big. It takes 10 years to find out if the winners really succeeded, and the failures pile up long before the winners are determined. So by design, for every hopeful, pending, highly likely success like Bolt or Bottle, I saw Martin back there, and I think Clarence is here somewhere, there's going to be a Perflow or Juno Medical that don't make it. And I want to talk about Juno Medical for a minute, because after all, we're on Greenwood, next to an empty clinic where we held a ribbon cutting less than a year ago. While I deeply believe in the mission of Juno and was proud to bring them to Tulsa, I overestimated the financial health of the business, as well as the governance in place to ensure long-term sustainability. And unfortunately, mismanagement from places far away from Tulsa led to the doors being shuttered. I'm sorry to this community for my role in this. I really am. One thing we learned from Juno's time in Tulsa was that there is significant local demand for a service like Juno. They served over 1,000 patients within 6 months of launching, which led to some of those closest to the situation to ask the question, under different management, could a similar offering be successful here? And so what I personally wouldn't have seen come from this is, within days of Juno shuttering in February, the Tulsa-based clinical team, led by Jabron and Leah, and I saw Jabron here, somewhere he's over there, led by Jabron, local hero, Nicole and Mackenzie started working to create an organization called Greenwood Health. Woo! which is an equity-focused, in-person and digital healthcare provider to serve those most in need here in this community. Greenwood Health will have clinicians that look like the patient they serve to tackle the healthcare inequity here in North Tulsa head on. They have put together a business plan and they're now raising money to launch. Greenwood Health will be a hybrid model, a private practice clinic with a nonprofit wrapped around it to allow them to serve patients with and without insurance. And there's no team more qualified to do this work in this place. I believe in this team and that they will find a way to reopen the space next door under the banner of Greenwood Health and serve the multifaceted healthcare needs of this community. Because stay tuned, they hope to be open this summer. So, the work is not over. It's not just Jabron and Leah and the Greenwood Health team who have this desire to serve Tulsans most in need. Many of you share the same values. And in my opinion, that is what makes Tulsa so special. Some of you know, I own many URLs, many with the word Tulsa in it, from Tulsa Explored to Down for Tulsa, to one that really should be the city slogan, which is Where Mission Matters. I know that URL. Many of you moved here, and I may have played a small role in some of those moves. I'm looking at you and a few others. But many of you moved here, and regardless if you're from here or moved here, you chose to stay here because of the impact and fulfillment of purpose-driven work. Working alongside you has been an absolute privilege, and being part of this community for the past 6.5 years made Tulsa so special for me and my family. Thank you. The work is vast, from investing in underrepresented founders to fighting for female reproductive rights to criminal justice reform, but one thing is the same. In Judaism, we have a word for this kind of work. It's called tikkun olam, to repair the world, leaving it better than we were born into it. All of you are doing so in Tulsa. And while the Basches will be in Argentina starting in August, and then hopefully in Boston from summer of 2025 to summer of 2026, I am at peace knowing that this work will continue because so many amazing people, you, are here driving the work forward every single day. The organizations that have been built over the past 6.5 years are here. The incredible humans who lead them will continue to lead. And though unforeseen challenges inevitably lay ahead, I believe we will persevere and continue to take Tulsa forward. So, what will I be doing? Many of you probably think of Atento as a VC, which we are. Going forward, my partner, my well-mustached partner, Will Gray, will oversee, will oversee the investment function. Will and the team are spending some time reviewing the strategy and performance to date and are partnering with GKF to determine what things will look like from an investment perspective going forward. While the investment function will stay in Atento for now, the plan is for Will's team to roll out at the end of the year, and more to come on that, and I'm excited for it. Will, for those of you who don't know him, is a wonderful human, a deep-thinking investor, a heck of a tennis player, and most of all, a die-hard Tulsan. Will, I have no doubt that you will take the investment function of this organization to new heights, and I'm excited to see you and the investment team continue to grow and thrive in that capacity. The only thing I'm not sure about is if you're going to figure out how to make Tulsa the disc golf or pickleball capital of the world first. And if you find it a conflict of interest to compete in it once you do. I'm excited to find out. I do want to say also, I'm incredibly grateful to our leadership team at Atento. A few of you are here. I think I saw Marissa, Vondell, Leandra, Rosa, Adele, Chelsea, Will, both existing and past. It was you all that helped us get us to where we are today. Thank you. And I think, many of you think of us as a VC, and we are, but in addition to investing, we've also launched those 9 organizations over the past 6.5 years. I mentioned some of them before, and going forward, I will be focusing our effort on building new game-changing ideas for Tulsa, myself and a team of 5 others. Chelsea, who many of you may know, but if not, you should get to know, will be leading the team here locally, Chelsea Showalter. She's amazing. If you don't know her, you should get to know her. She's an incredible woman who, after leaving Tulsa for nearly 30 years, returned during COVID, and I see her becoming a key player for the shared effort of bringing Tulsa forward. We also have Lawrence Watkins, Lauren Roberts, Courtney Gill, and Tatiana on the team, and I'm excited to see what we can accomplish together with you. So together, we'll be working on ideating, building, and hopefully executing the next game-changing initiatives for Tulsa. Think the new Tulsa Remote or Build in Tulsa. Stay tuned. I know this has gone long, but I'm almost done. I'm sorry. But it's my last, but I have no other chance, so I have to do it. I want to express gratitude for some very special people. I want to really say the deepest of thanks to everyone at the George Kaiser Family Foundation, from George to Ken, to Ben, to Phil, Jeff, Suzanne, Alex, Bromley, Becca, everyone and everyone between. And none of this would have been possible. So much of what's happening would not be possible. My family's life in Tulsa would not have been possible without you. Thank you. To Tulsa tomorrow, my thank you, and really thank you to all of you in the Jewish community of Tulsa that took in the Basches, but really specifically to my two honorary uncles, David Charney and David Feiner. Without you, we'd never have landed in Tulsa. Your continued mentorship and advice and the community you brought us to and continue to engage with us was everything. And so, thank you. To the Attentants, the Attento leadership, the Attento team, the former Attentants, especially those impacted by the recent reorganization, the Attenterns, the former Attenterns, and a special shout out to Tyrants. You were pre-Attento, but I'm including you in there. Tyrants, what you are doing with Black Tech Street, I am so proud to say that I worked with that guy way back when. Man! But thank you all the Attentants, for believing me in this work. To our founders, a few of you are here. Thank you to the founders who took a chance. Many of you moved to Tulsa and on Attento. They're building your companies here in Tulsa. It is still early days, but I believe many of you will find success. Some in your current companies, others in your next one. We invested because we believed in your company, but even more so because we believe in you. I still do, and I'm excited to see your stories unfold. To my family, there are too many. I said this. There's a fun fact. There might be more Bosches than Kaisers in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There are too many people in my family almost to name. There's 13 of us in Tulsa. There's only 3 or 4 that flew in. But really, most of all, I want to thank my family, my extended family who came in to see me off tonight. To the 12 other family members who have moved to Tulsa and made a life here. And most importantly, I don't know where my wife is. Thank God, such words should never be said. No, I don't have the words to say to you, but and if I spoke better Spanish, I'd say something in Spanish other than te amo. But I can't imagine having done 1 minute of this Tulsa adventure without you. I'm so excited to give you this next year, your family in Argentina, to learn your language, and to have this next chapter in our adventure together. I love you. So, it wouldn't be a Michael Basch speech without a call to action. Let's not let a good going-away party go to waste. So what do you do next? We're in a bookstore. Buy a book. Support a small business. I think if Gibran is here, ask about Greenwood Health. They're going to be launching it. They're going to have memberships. Fund a membership, get a membership, understand the membership. I was a member of Juno Care. It was an amazing experience. Greenwood Health is going to be the next level after that. And so support Greenwood Health. If you have a game-changing idea for Tulsa, I'd like to hear about it. You know how to find me. So that being said, I believe in Tulsa. I believe in the founders of Tulsa. I believe in the underrepresented founders of Tulsa. I believe in the founders that moved to Tulsa to do big things. I believe there will be another Black Wall Street in Tulsa. I believe it is all of you that will unlock the hidden potential of Tulsa in the days, months, and years to come. Please don't be a stranger. Until next time, thank you.